I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming
on. What's that?
It's 1 second. Go do your thing.
You have to hear what's going on in the pre-show for you to understand how messed up these conversations are.
Yes. Like Miguel just shared with me that he randomly held, what was it, Britney Spears' hands? Just randomly shot out and held her hand. And what did she do?
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
And then he got arrested?
No, you make me sound like a creeper. What ended up happening was, so I used to dance for, I used to dance for Electric Circus, right?
Yeah, you told me.
Okay, so
back in the day.
Yeah, back when it was cool.
When you were like a boomer.
Boomer?
What they call
no.
The boomer? Aren't you a boomer? Aren't you
I'm
in
not
your 50s?
A baby. Oh my gosh. What is happening right now? I'm not a... Relax. You're older than me, okay?
Okay.
You look older than me. But anyways, so I'm drinking water now, so... So what ended up happening was I used to dance for Electric Circus, and she showed up to promote whatever, and she was being interviewed by Monica Dio. Do you remember her? Anyways,
I'm too young. Like, how could I remember her?
She was a VJ, right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Video jockey.
I know.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
You came packing today, eh? Like, holy. Anyway, so she was walking by, and so they were both walking by, and Lewis and my buddy Lewis, we used to dance together. Anyways, so as they were walking by, I just like literally stretched forth my arm, and I just grabbed her hand, like off camera, right? And so she kind of like. And
that's when you get arrested, right?
No, I didn't get arrested. No. Hang on, legit. Hang on. And so she kind of like looked at me, and I was just like.
That's not face.
And so I guess she thought I was cute, and she kind of like like laughed back, and yeah, legit, dude. I held Britney Spears' hands.
There's a little history of Miguel there.
It was awesome.
All right, kick us off. Welcome, everybody.
Yes, welcome, everybody. How are you doing? My name is Coach Martinez, and this is...
Maria Bunch, your Mindset BFF.
And I am the People's Coach, and welcome to From Vision to Success. You got me messed up.
Get it together.
No, I know, but you've messed me up. Like, this morning was just... In the intro, as we were waiting for everything to start... She's like, I gotta pee. And I'm like, there's like 15 seconds left. You can't go in by saying, I gotta pee. So that messed me up a little bit. But anyways, and yeah, today, listen, we have some gear, guys.
Yes, check this out. Check it out.
So this says, I am strong. You can check us out at mtclife.com. So we got shirts, and they are in reverse. So meaning all your sayings are in reverse. So when you look in the mirror, you get to see the message being thrown back at you. So
it's called the Mirror Collection or Reflections.
So our lineup or our store is called Reflections.
Okay.
Because everything we put on our gear is just something to reflect. But this line itself is called Mirror.
Yeah, it's super cool. So these messages are specifically for you.
Yeah.
Not for anybody else.
Yeah.
But they're for you.
Yeah, I thought of it. It's I was at the gym one time, and then all of a sudden there was I was like, it said something like never give up, and I was looking in the mirror, but it was in reverse. And then that's when I was like, you know what? A lot of this stuff, the images are for other people. So when you wear something motivational, it's normally for other people. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why can't we have like shirts that's motivational for us when we're looking in the mirror? And that's when Reflections came to mind. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start something here.
Yes, so I love them.
We have a line too, right? What's the other one? Yours.
Share your light. So with Share Your Light, you have motivational messages, but they're not for you. They're for others. So
Right.
they're in your back and they say, hey, you got this. Hey, like you can do hard things. It's
Yeah.
all about the other person. So the front, it's mirrored, all about you.
Yeah.
The back is all about somebody else and just sharing your light, helping others have a good day.
Absolutely. And every time you purchase a gear, and it helps the show out. So thank you so much. Again, check us out at mtclife.com.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about today?
Okay, so today is
Besides you needing to go to the bathroom.
okay, let's not talk about my my peeing habits on air.
Listen, summer or winter, what's your favorite?
What's my favorite?
Yeah.
I would say summer because I get legit cold in winter. Like no matter how many layers I have, I am really cold.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm about the winter. I like the summer life,
Okay.
but I hate the heat. Like
You-
I legit hate I cannot sleep at night. I'm like
But we have AC. Like, don't you have AC
No, I do.
and a fan?
Yeah, but you're still hot.
Yeah.
Like you can be like in the like buff in your birthday clothes and you're still hot.
And like sweaty and everything.
yeah, but in the winter you got like 3 or 4 covers, you got a bunch of pajamas and you're just so toasty.
I like thinking about winter right now. I'm cold. Like my feet and my hands are cold, so I can't do it.
Yeah, there was a couple of podcasts ago. You came in like full winter gear inside here.
Because that was cold. You had me in like winter. It was like winter time in here.
It was sad. It was. I'm talking to
I
her.
had like my hoodie on. I
Yeah,
had, like,
yeah, like scarf and your like mitts, and I'm like, can you relax there, princess? Like, what's happening
oh my
right
gosh,
now?
Relax.
Organic or gluten free?
I don't like. I have to choose one, right? I rather do organic than gluten free.
Okay.
Yeah, gluten free. A lot of people think it's healthier, and it can be healthier, but you can still buy crap that's gluten free. And a lot of companies advertise gluten free, even though you know it's gluten free. But gluten free has this like healthier
Okay.
thing,
Okay.
which not necessarily is healthier. You can still eat crap that's gluten free.
Okay.
So I rather do organic.
Interesting.
But either one, I'm like, as long as you eat healthy, to me, I'm like, even organic, I'm like, organic is ideal, but it's also super expensive, right? So I'm like, I'm good as long as you eat healthy. If it's not organic, that's my thing.
That's your thing.
What about you?
I don't know what those two things means.
So organic, there's no pesticides, and gluten free is like there's no gluten, so there's
What's
no
a
wheat.
pesticide?
Come on, you know what a pesticide is.
Like it a bug?
Okay, a pesticide is a chemical that's sprayed on crops in order for them not to.
I know pesticides. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. See?
Yeah, yeah. So that means organic. That there
When
is
when there's no
isn't.
pesticide.
Okay.
Come on, you have your sister-in-law. She does organic vegetables.
Yeah, but she talks and then it's not like I start.
Careful, Miguel.
No.
Careful.
Listen, Tamara, I love you. I really do. But no, we never talk. So we never talk plants. But
You need a little lesson. Like next
I
time you're
know.
gonna come in and you're gonna ask her, and then you're gonna come and educate all of us.
I know, and I think that's a big problem. Like when people start talking, and I just don't understand what they're saying.
You shut down.
Subconsciously, my mind just goes. It just goes to another place, and so I've programmed my body to just kind of like.
No, I can tell when you're like when I'm talking to you and you have no idea what I'm saying.
That's a lie.
100%.
That's
I
a
can
lie.
tell.
That's a lie.
I can tell.
No, there's been so many times you've been talking, and I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
No, I can tell.
When was the last time I did it?
I can't pinpoint. Like I
Yes,
don't
you
write
can.
everything.
Yes, you
I don't
can.
write everything down, but I can tell.
You can't.
You get this empty. You think that you're, even though you're like this, your eyes are like empty. So now I know why they're empty. They're singing that song.
And I don't do it, and I don't do it often. Like normally I am. Yeah, like it's just it. You know what it is? It's not that I'm not. It's okay. So it's not that I don't care.
Where is this going?
No. I know. Hang on one second. It's not that I don't care, because I do care. I really do care what people have to say and think. It's just when the explanation takes so long. So if I ask somebody a question, like I want the Coles notes, but then
You don't want the TED Talk.
they go into a TED Talk.
Don't ask me questions. I know this is
This is
like,
not personal. This is not a shot
this
to
is
you.
a total. Don't ask me questions then, Miguel, if you don't like my TED Talks.
This is not a shot to you. This is just why are you taking things so personal today? Oh my gosh. Which in reality, that's what we're going to be talking about today. But yeah, it's just when I ask somebody a question and then they just go into like a 15, 20 minute presentation,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I can't even get a word in. then I do. I just subconsciously and unconsciously, I just get bored and just my mind just starts going somewhere else. Legit, this is a true story. I was talking to someone on the phone, and all I did is, how's your day? Okay, how was your day? And they went into an hour and a half of how their day was, and I could not get a word in. Like
for an hour and a half, you were on the phone.
For an hour and a half, I was on the phone, and then I was just literally, I was laying there in bed with the phone on my shoulder.
You're like, they're still talking.
On speaker, right? And I would just chime back in and be like, oh, they're still talking, and I would just chime back out. I think I even took a 15-minute nap. And I'm not even joking. I think I'm pretty sure, because there's a period there that I don't remember. I just don't remember what happened, and then I kind of like snapped out of it, and then I looked at the phone. It was like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm like, what is happening? And anyways, so yeah, I just. Note
to self: have an elevator pitch, right?
Oh, what?
An elevator pitch.
Yeah, and again, I like conversation, and when I don't know anything, I love asking questions and I love learning. It's just when they go into like the history and like, oh, when I was 4 years old and da, 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 and I just asked you how your day was. Like that's all I want to know. So, here, Rivera, what does he say? It's because you don't get people. So I explained. Confession. I did that to you last week. Sorry, remember.
That's probably him right now. He's
why are you logging in? Why is my sister logging in? You should be logging. You should go somewhere else. Go find another podcast. Go find another podcast.
No, stay here. We love you. Come on. Yes. Don't listen to Miguel.
I didn't even talk to her last. We had her over celebrating my mom's birthday, and like I don't know what she's talking about. I didn't talk to her all like while she was here. So, anyways.
Oh man.
So what are we talking about today?
Okay, so today is all about the concept of taking 100% accountability. So tell me, what does that mean to you? 100% accountability. And what are your thoughts out there? Share with us.
100% accountability?
Yeah.
Well, 100 like I snap on my kids.
Okay.
So here's a confession. I snap on my kids. I lose it. I see red when I see so let me give you an example. The other day I went into their room. Was it 3 days ago? I went into their room and their bathroom was a mess. So we have a housekeeper, not a housekeeper, like somebody that comes in and cleans the house every so often. And, we obviously pay. There's two. One we pay and one we barter services with. And so they, an average cost of anywhere between $60 and $80, per visit. So we're paying this, whether it's through service or barter or whatever. And then they, like legit, they spent their whole time cleaning the basement, the middle floor, whatever, and their bathroom was just spotless, right? Everything was nice. That gym locker smell was gone. It was great. It was
you phenomenal. Have like 4 boys in that one bathroom.
3
boys.
Yeah, 3 boys. Like 2 days later, it looked like a hurricane. There was wet towels all over the place. Like there was toilet paper everywhere. There was like there's stuff that was supposed to be in the bathroom. It looked like they were taking shots and it just landed outside. And so I asked them what happened, and calmly, right? I'm like, guys, why is your bathroom so dirty? And then Levi's like, oh, Nala was in there. And I'm like, you're telling me the Nala like messed around. Nala's our bird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're telling me that Nala did all of, she was playing basketball with the thing. There's a dirty underwear. So Nala wears underwear now. And I started losing it on there. And all of them were just like looking at me underneath their covers, right? Seth just grabs his covers and just kind of like hides his face, hoping that but I lost it. And so I was like, why do you guys always deflect blame, right? Because when I asked him, I was calm. I was like, why is it so dirty? And then the minute it was like, oh, Nala, I lost it. I'm not a big fan of people that just blame other people for their mistakes. So I'm like, take ownership. And I tell my kids all the time, if you just let me know that you did it, that you messed up, we can fix it. But the minute you start, oh, it was his fault or her fault or it wasn't my fault, you can't fix that. Because in your mind, you're saying, I'm perfect and I don't need any help.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So anyways, my kids were scared about 2 days ago. They thought I was legit going to sell them on eBay. Anyways,
You're that close, eh? You're just
I
taking
was-
pictures at that point.
I was taking pictures. I was looking for pictures of them in their best self, and I was kind of like, "You're going on eBay tomorrow." So,
Oh man.
what does it mean to you?
Accountability. So I read this book. It was called 10X. And prior to that, 10X. The 10X rule is by Grant Cardone.
10x. Why does it sound
10X
familiar?
rule. So basically what he says is like, in order to succeed or succeed quickly, everything you do it 10X, right? So you multiply it by 10 and put 10 times the effort.
Okay.
Anyway, so the first time I was ever introduced to the concept of 100% accountability or 100% responsibility was that through that book. And I love what he said. He's like, taking 100% responsibility means that you're responsible. Is how you respond to the events, whether they're created by you or whether they're created by somebody else. So it really helped me out, actually, even with my relationship with Mike, because I used to get really annoyed over certain things. You know, sometimes they're just different. Like men and women are just different, right? And I was just getting really annoyed over certain things. And instead of blaming, I was like, okay, what can I do in order to help the situation? So it helped me get rid of the victim mentality. Because when I had that victim mentality, I would just succumb to whatever's happening, right? Then I would feel bad. I would feel angry. I would blame it on others. But if I'm blaming it on others, then I can't change it.
So here's my question for you.
Okay.
When you blamed others, did you consciously or subconsciously know that it was your fault when you were blaming others? Or you legit believed yourself that you didn't do anything wrong and that you were blaming that it was somebody else's fault?
I think it's depending on the situation. I think with some situations, I 100% blamed others. And I was like, it's their fault this is happening. It's their fault why I'm feeling this way. It's their fault that I'm going through this, right? But I think with other situations, after the initial anger piece came off, I was like, oh, shoot, maybe I did this in order to cause it as well. But it was always like, it always had to do with other people. As
Really?
opposed to now, I'm just like, you know what? Things happen. They happen. I can be angry all I want, but I am responsible about how I handle this from now on. So that's the way that I see now 100% accountability.
So if we get canceled, like...
It's your fault. No, I'm just kidding. Except in this.
So I was telling Maria earlier in the pre-show, like...
He thinks I'm going to get canceled. Legit, I haven't taken Bollywood dance classes, but I love Bollywood dance.
So you haven't?
I haven't.
I told you. I knew it. I
haven't.
called it. I totally called it. I was
Okay,
like, there's no way you
but
took it.
I love my Indian movies. Like for a while there, I watched a lot of them and I love to dance. So I love doing the dance and I was doing a dance and he's like, you're being politically incorrect. I'm like, is that politically incorrect? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me, friends. Was I being politically correct by dancing a song that I love? It moves, yes, that they're not culturally mine, but I appreciate the culture. So
I'm like, if we get recorded and you start doing that, I'm like, we're getting canceled.
I was telling him too, back in the day, okay, when I had dark hair and I used to wear a nose ring, 100% I was mistaken by to be an Indian girl. People would come up to me speaking in their language. I had no idea what they said, and they would often realize that I wasn't when I wasn't answering.
Real?
Yes.
How long ago was this?
This is years ago. I had longer hair and it was dark, and I had a nose ring, so at least like 10 years ago.
That's funny.
Maybe longer.
I would always get confused for Filipino.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Yeah. I've never gotten confused for anything else, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So going back, the accountability. So when did okay. So now that when, like, say something happens to you, right, whatever, what's your thought process? Do you stop, think, and reflect or deflect, or what do you do?
Depending on who it is. My poor Mike. So my husband, unfortunately, does not get the best part of me always.
He's a battered man.
But you know what? I try my best to just kind of think about the situation, think what I can do differently.
Yeah.
I have to, or else I'm going to be suffering. Like, legit, I'm going to be suffering. There's things that I can do in order to change it, and I'll do that. If I can't change it, I can't change it. I'll focus on something else, or I'll change my attitude towards it.
I don't remember the last time I was wrong.
See, that's your problem. That's why you have a lot of conflict in your life right now.
No, I know. I know. It's well, okay. I obviously said that jokingly. However, I'll tell you really. So Tegan comes up to me, right? And she goes, "Do you know how frustrating it is being married to you?"
Oh, yeah, I 100% can see her saying that.
Hang on, rude. Hang on 1 second. Is she still on here? Get off of this podcast. She's still on here.
Oh my gosh, don't get off.
No, get off of this podcast. Nobody's talking to my sister right now. I love her, but still. So she goes, do you know how hard it is being married to you?
Was this recent?
This was a year ago.
Okay.
About a year ago. And I thought that she was going to say, I leave my socks everywhere. I have a really bad habit not putting my socks away. Like, if I take them off, it's at the end of the day, and I'll just throw them off to the side of the bed. Mm-hmm. And then I'll forget in the morning because I'm waking up early, right? The first thing on my mind is I got to get my socks off of the floor. But anyway, so I thought she was going to say something like that or whatever. And she goes, and then she says, she goes, and I go, what do you mean? Like, why is it frustrating being married to me? She goes, because you're always right.
What?
So this is the thing is, and I don't think, so just to course correct, not that I'm always right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not perfect, right? 100%. But in a conversation, sometimes where we have a problem, I have a habit, and because of practice, to like break things down and just figure out, okay, we have a problem. We have a situation. Let's break down. How can we get to the solution? So I'm very solution focused, right? And so I've been doing this, human behavior development for about 15 years now, right? And so there hasn't been a situation that I haven't come across that I'm like, oh, we can try this, we can do that. And so, but for her, all of this is new, self-development, all of this, right? And so I tend to have the answer already not because I'm so smart, it's because I've come across a situation where I know the answer already. And so I'm very quick to the answer, but she hates it. She hates the fact that I don't give her the opportunity to learn. I take that away from her. And which I found very interesting that, yeah, like I just want to help her. And I'm like, okay, I have the answer. And I'm very quick to the answer. And she's like, just don't do that, right? Like, let me figure it out as well.
So it's also because you're a man. I'm reading this book, Men Are From Venus and Women Are From Mars.
Yeah.
Or no, Women Are from Venus and Men Are from Mars.
Men Are From Mars.
Yeah. And the book actually says that men are very solution oriented as opposed to women. Women were very much like, we want to talk it out. Right. And so I'm like, yes, you are very solution oriented because I think your mindset helps you to do that as well. And the fact that this is the field that you work in, but you're also a man. So you're trying to solve her problems. Because you love her,
yeah,
right? But as a woman, when you do that, it's not necessarily helpful because it's like, you remember that video about the nail?
Yeah, the nail.
I died, right? It's not about the nail.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
So I'm like, so there's this video that Miguel showed me, and it's this woman who has a nail right on her forehead, right?
Yeah.
And so she's telling her husband, she's like telling how much her head hurts, how overwhelming it is, and her husband is like looking at the nail, and he's like, can we just take out the nail? It's about the nail. And she's like, no, don't tell me it's about the nail, right?
Yeah. It's not about the nail. And then she's like, I have this pain, this achy, like right here. And he's looking at her.
He's like,
because he knows.
You legit have like a nail right here.
Yeah. And she knew that it was the nail, right?
Yeah.
And so she wasn't dumb. Like she knew that she had a nail on her forehead, but she didn't want somebody to come in and fix it.
She needed empathy. She needed to be heard.
She needs to be heard.
As opposed to a man needs solutions because that's how men are wired. That's how, like, very solution oriented, right?
Yeah. So anyways, again, I'm not.
Get off your high horse. That's what I'm telling you.
How do I get on my high horse?
Did you get you guys ready? This is how he gets on his high horse. He puts his leg on. He's like.
So sad. So when did you change?
What, my mindset with regards to like. It's been a process. Honestly, I have to say that time when I was listening to that, I still remember when I heard that. I was washing the dishes and I was like, what? Take 100% accountability? What? Victim mindset? Because I had never, ever been exposed to that. And I had never even known about having a victim mindset where you see like life happening to you instead of for you. And that's 100% what I had before. But I think it's been a process. It's something that I continually have to assess because sometimes I do want to blame others for things that I'm going through. But when I do, it doesn't get better. So I want my life to be better. And when I focus on that, then I focus on more solutions rather than problems. But you had a pretty cool story. Why don't you share with us?
Yeah. So some of you know that I served a mission. So in a place called Puerto Rico. Anyway, so I was there. And anyways, when I came back, and the church that I came back to, my ecclesiastical leader, Bishop Balbantine, love him to death. He's been one of my he's been one of my favorite bishops. And so I had like about 5 callings. So I was a young men's president, I was a Sunday school teacher, I was a seminary teacher, I was a YSA rep, and I was a ward missionary. Back then it was called stake missionaries.
Okay.
So I have 5 callings. So
all at the same time?
All at the same time.
How were you doing Sunday school and youth at the same time?
It was a small ward.
Okay.
And it wasn't a small, like, there wasn't a lot of members or just members that were able to fulfill like a lot of these callings, right? And so pretty much all the jobs and responsibilities that I had were with youth focused.
Okay.
So I've always been working with the youth, right? Since 2001, right? Anyways, and so we would have like weekly meetings. So I kept coming to him and I'm like, listen, the Sunday school program, like I'm having this problem. And like, okay, try this. And we're like, okay. Then come back again and we're like the young men's program, we're having this problem. It's like, well, okay, try this. Like nobody's coming out to activities on Tuesday nights. Like what are we gonna? We'll try that. So I kept coming to him like literally week after week, and I would giving him a call and be like, I have this, I have that, whatever. And he just stopped me and he goes, stop. He's like, you're either part of the problem or part of the solution. Yeah. And I was the way that it came out of his mouth, I was like,
he like stopped you dead on your tracks.
He did. It was like in the middle of my conversation, right? And I'm like, well, and so I didn't take offense, but I took a defense, right? I'm like, I'm not causing the problems. It's the kids, it's the youth, right? Like they're the ones that are whatever. And he goes, no. He goes, that's fine. He goes, but when you come to me, right? Like think about it, pray about it, come up with some solutions, right? And then come to me, and then we'll talk about the solutions that you found.
Yeah.
So by you not doing anything, you instantly become part of the problem.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what Tegan said to you with regards like you don't have the opportunity to grow. If you're not looking for solutions, you don't have that opportunity. I am amazed sometimes about the questions that are asked, because a lot of questions that are asked, sometimes you can find them on Google. Like legit. But sometimes like people ask these questions and I'm like, did you Google it? Because when I give you the answer, what I'm going to do first is Google it and then find like what makes sense and then kind of give you that answer based on that.
So Elias had a teacher and that was his thing. Nobody was allowed to ask him any questions.
Yeah.
They had to Google it first.
Yeah.
So if after spending 30 minutes on Google trying to look for the answer, if they couldn't find it, then you had permission to come and ask. And so he would always, oh, sir, what's, 2 plus 2 or what's this or what's that or whatever. He'd be like, did you Google it? And if the answer was no, like, go Google, I don't want to talk to you, go Google it. And just, he would like literally dismiss them, right?
Yeah.
And then I even heard him a couple of times where they're asking some questions about whatever. And then instead of giving this person the answers, he told him how to refine the search.
Yeah.
So he says, you know what, type these keywords and see what comes up.
Yeah.
And don't go to Google, go to YouTube, and it should be like your first 2 or your first 3rd video or whatever the case is. And so he was very slow to giving them the answers, but he was very quick to like dismiss them and just be like, Google it.
I think that's the way to do it, especially with our kids too. I'm like, and it's hard for me because I'm always like wanting to give my kids the solutions, but if I give them the solutions, it's taking away their ability to research, their ability to learn, their ability to take accountability. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? Not the butterfly, not the effect. That the butterfly.
Is it a big word?
It's not a big word.
But the fly. Just kidding. Guys, if you don't know, we don't say big words at this show.
Yeah, we should have that on the side here. Like number 1 rule: don't know big words. But no, it's not a big word. It's I
know. I don't think I've heard it. The only thing when you say butterfly effect, it only makes me think of that movie with Ashton Kutcher, like back in the day.
That was in the day. Yeah.
I haven't like. I remember it was called the butterfly effect.
It was the butterfly effect, yeah. And so the actual butterfly effect is that they say that the flapping of the butterflies in the Western can totally determine the kind of winds that we're going to have here.
Okay.
I think that's what if I'm wrong, I watch I'm wrong. Some scientist comes up here and is like, actually, it's okay. If you're a scientist, you don't speak like that. I get it. I just offended somebody right now.
Totally did. Get off your high horse. Had nothing to do with that response.
I'm totally going to get canceled right now. Actually, okay. So not the butterfly effect. It was, okay. The story is that a butterfly when we see a butterfly coming out of the cocoon, the story says that my sister said, just Google it. Stop throwing things.
Yes.
Don't
Just
give
Google
her.
it. Just
Don't.
Okay, tell me the story. Oh my gosh.
Why is she still logging in? You're not allowed.
You're 100% allowed. Let me tell you that.
Go away, sister. Like, what is? Oh my gosh. Anyways, the whole story is it's a folklore.
Okay.
A folklore story, right? A man had a butterfly. Butterfly's trying to come out, and he's waiting and waiting weeks and weeks and weeks from cocoon to whatever. He finally, or days, I don't know how long it takes for a butterfly to come out of its cocoon. But anyways, it's time, and it's coming out, and he notices that the butterfly's struggling. And so he starts to help it, right? And with like a couple of tweezers, whatever, he starts to open up and crack open the cocoon, and the butterflies like comes out and all this other stuff, whatever. The butterfly did not last hours. Like, it just literally died, right? Like it didn't, whatever. So what happens is that as the butterfly is coming out of the cocoon, two things happen. They build muscle strength in their wings. And they're not only that, but there's a liquid that they still have inside. That liquid gets pushed out.
Through the motions.
Through them, as they're coming out of the cocoon, that liquid gets squeezed out, and then they're able to be light enough, and then because I don't know if it's toxic or whatever, but they need to get it out or else they die.
Yeah.
So in his mind, he was helping the butterfly come out of the cocoon by making it less stressful. But it was the stress itself that made the butterfly stronger and let it empty its cup, like empty those fluids so it can survive in the wild and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And you saying that now with my bishop, right?
Yeah.
He was, I wanted him to come and open up that cocoon for me because I was struggling. But he knew that if I didn't do my part and if I didn't take responsibility, then I was just shooting myself in the foot, right?
I think you feel good too when you take responsibility and you find solutions.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? Like your confidence grows, your self-esteem grows.
Yeah.
So by technically you not taking accountability, you're really doing more harm to yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't have those special skills that are built when you're trying to do something hard.
Yeah. No, I agree. My dad was huge on what's this? That every problem has a solution.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have that embedded in my grave. I'm like on the stone. Every problem has a solution.
Yeah, it is true.
Right. And so when we tend to focus on the problems only, then that's when stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
So what does Ed says? Ed, how are you, man? Welcome. He says, according to the Webster Dictionary, it's simple terms. It's just for Miguel Martinez, the butterfly. Listen, this podcast is not about. Let's see how much of an immigrant, right? New immigrant Miguel Martinez is to Canada. So leave me alone, people. I get it. English is my second language. You need to understand that. We got some mean people on our podcast today, man.
We love you guys. Don't listen to him.
I'm just saying. And is my sister still on here? Is she probably still on here? She's so mean.
Oh my god.
What about you? Was there a one moment for you that just clicked and be like, okay, I have to start taking responsibility?
I have to say that the biggest reason why I wanted to take responsibility was because it was like harming my marriage with Mike. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's why because right when I read that quote, I was upset with Mike because he hadn't washed the dishes, and I was angry washing. So I was like, I can't believe it, right? I was like, okay, angry cleaning is the best. Like, I mean, you all know. I know my ladies out there, angry cleaning.
Angry washing?
Angry cleaning is like therapeutic, at least for me.
We're making a t-shirt. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm angry washing.
Yes, angry cleaning. Okay, we all know, but literally, I was like, right? So I was like muttering under my breath. And then I heard that. And I was like, oh my gosh, it made me realize, one, I never asked Mike. I never actually asked him to wash the dishes, right?
Okay.
I expected him to know something that is not. Like, we're just, men and women are just wired different, right? Like, if you want something, you have to ask for it. You can't just expect for it, right?
Yeah.
And then I realized that I had all these insane expectations of him without asking him. And I was being a victim, right? I was thinking that he wasn't fulfilling his end of the of like our marriage by not doing these things.
Okay.
When in reality, I was never asking. I was never even making it known to him. So I think at that point I was like, you know what? I'm like, I can't be angry with him. So I really tried hard to change that. And I'm still a work in progress.
That's big of you, though. Not a lot of people would self-reflect at that moment and be like, okay, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe there's something that I need to change.
Well, it was the book. It like triggered that thought because I was so angry, and we had that problem for so long. And I mean, we still kind of have it. And sometimes I still have that difficulty that I'm talking and I feel like he's not listening to me. But okay, I gotta put a little shout out there for that book. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. 100% helping me.
Men are from Mars?
Yeah, and women are from Venus.
I've heard about it. I was close to reading it one day.
It's so good.
But then I remember I can't read. And so
you open it, you're like sounding the word. Yeah, no.
Is there like a coloring version? Is there?
Probably. I'm sure there is.
Listen, I struggle.
You have to practice.
I know.
You know what it is? Like you can get better, but I think you're in your head with it.
And I know. And this I have to take and I've noticed that too. So going back to this theme about taking 100% responsibility, what we say to ourselves for fruitions, for twos,
fructition.
What does that mean?
Like it comes to life.
Yeah, that word.
There you go.
What is it? What do you say?
Fructition. It comes to fructition.
It comes to fruition?
Is
that what it is?
Yeah, fructition. Is that
Is that what it is? Oh, Wendy Hill. She's smart.
Oh, I met.
Yeah, Wendy Hill. Is that the word? She's very smart.
Okay, and she was at the
Yeah, she's the organizer for the
I
racism.
was there and I saw you and I was like, I remember you from the podcast. So I was so happy to put a face to your name.
Yeah, she's awesome. She is like anything she touches turns to gold.
Love
like
it.
This
touch our podcast.
The what? we should have her on the podcast. But anyways, what's the word? Fructition?
Yeah, fructition.
So I'm noticing lately, and I need to stop self-prophesying my bad habits.
Yeah, because I've noticed that you had a goal that you were going to read a book.
I know.
And then you like kind of fell off of it and you're like, oh, I can't read. You can get better and it will become better. And the more you do it.
I was doing well and I was writing the momentum. I was like, I'm excited and I'm going to start reading.
Yeah.
And then I went halfway through.
You just have to get back on track.
How did it end? Because I lent it to you. So
you never finished it?
No, dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, truth be told, I actually bought the audio because I was doing it on my walks. And so far, I haven't finished it yet, but I'll let you know how it ends. It's The Atomic Habits. It's
such a good book.
Amazing book as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, so absolutely, I 100% believe that whatever you say is self-prophesizing. So if you put it out there, oh, I can't do that, or this is happening, or like anything negative, that's exactly what you bring to life. So put good stuff. You can read. You can do it. I'm giving the book back. We're going to get you back to where you left off, and you're going to finish off. And we're going to have a podcast following up. Everybody, keep this guy accountable.
Don't bring people on board. Like,
okay, ask him, how does the Atomic Habit end? Because as of right now, he doesn't know yet.
I know it ends about, building good habits.
Really?
Yeah, the Atomic Habit. Yeah, don't bring people
100%. Ask him. If we go to church together, if you see him, if you work with him, ask him. Send him messages. If you have his phone number, just randomly text him.
Honestly, this podcast has been very different. I feel like a victim here. And we're
all helping you to get better. No, you're welcome. Get off your high horse. You're welcome.
I don't have a high horse. But if I do, it's pretty high. I will read it. And I need to take my own medicine. And I 100% agree, because lately, especially with this calling that I have, right? First thing that I said to myself, I can't do it. Until this day, I'm like, I feel so inadequate. And not only that, when it comes to like English or reading or writing, I always tell I'm just, my English is not good, English second language, and I go to that, but I've never.
You do it, I notice that you always do that, and you do it jokingly, but it's still self-prophesizing.
Oh, 100%.
Because I've seen you when you're with
100%.
youth and you're writing on the thing, and you never finish your actual word. You just like scribble it.
It's embarrassing. I'm writing like, the word procrastination, and I'm like trying to like phonetically sound it out.
Listen, just practice your words before you go. Like.
Yeah, but a lot of my workshops, they're like, I don't know what they're going to say.
Okay.
Right. And so, like, a smarty pants says something big word, and we're like,
We do have to give like big up the youth nowadays. The youth are smart.
I know.
Like they tell me stuff and I'm like, whoa, I was not thinking that way when I was 16.
well, can I tell you? I was doing a workshop. It was to a bunch of grade 4 5s.
Yeah.
And so, they're giving me answers, and I'm writing in them on the board. And again, I'm like really struggling. And I think the word was resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
And I've written that word before, but then for some reason I had a brain fart, and I'm like trying to phonetically sound it out. And one kid, he just yells like, "Go to school." So my holy, like this kid, whatever. And then they all start laughing. And so because that was emphasized, so now they were like honing in just to make sure that
You were spelling everything correctly.
Right? And
That is some pressure though.
it is.
Yeah.
You came to me with that school.
Oh, it was there?
Yeah. No, it wasn't there. It was somewhere
Okay.
else. Yeah, it was somewhere else. But
Anyway, you're going to take 100% responsibility. You're going to get better with that book reading. Everybody hold him accountable to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, the moral of the story here is, for if you've stuck with us for this, even though the youth love you, English or not, you have an amazing connection with them.
She's amazing. How
See?
did you like...
Okay, so but again,
Denor, you're amazing. Don't worry about my gal. He appreciates you and loves you deep inside.
Stop. Don't be lying to this girl. I do. I love her. I love her a lot. But still, when she plays her role as an older sister very well. She's 15 years older.
Just in case, just putting it out
Yeah,
there.
she's around 80 or something.
That makes you what, 65?
Math is no good looking for me too.
Anyway, what were you saying about
Yeah, no,
accountability?
but yeah, I think you're right. I think the pretty much the whole thing, the moral of the story is just if things are not happening the way that you want them to happen, before you point a finger at anybody else, take a look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And can you imagine if we all did that? Politics, governments, corporations, if things are not going your way, how much of a better life would we be if we just kind of like take a look in the mirror and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's me or something that I'm doing or a policy or whatever.
Yeah, it improves your quality of life, that's for sure. Especially nowadays with the pandemic and like differences of opinions and political things that are going on.
Yeah.
Often we like to blame others. But there's so much power in knowing that, yeah, we can't change certain situations that kind of suck. But what can we do within us to have the best experience that we can during this time? In order to have that, we need accountability towards ourselves. That's the only...
So here's a question for you, though. I'm going to play the devil's advocate for a second. And I just thought of this right now. Is it possible to do it too much?
What do you mean?
To blame yourself for everything.
You're not blaming yourself. You're doing... When you're taking accountability, it's not about blaming. It's about your ability to respond to the event that's happening. Your response able, right? Responsibility. So your response able, your ability to respond. So that's what I want you to think. Like when you're thinking about taking 100% responsibility, is your ability to respond to the event that's happening, whether it's created by you, whether it's created by the environment, whether it was created by somebody else.
Because there's a lot of people that I know that they self-harm, right? Not physically, but self-harm like mentally. They're always, oh, it's my fault, and they're always like beating themselves up.
Yeah.
They're always taking responsibility. It was because of me. I messed up. I screwed up.
That's victim mentality, I would say.
So what's the difference then?
Victim mentality is you're powerless. If you're powerless, you're not taking responsibility. Responsibility is about your ability to respond. That's what responsibility is. Not like, oh my gosh, like I suck. This is happening because of me. What do I like? If you're feeling powerless, that's not responsibility.
Okay.
And that's the thing. I'm like, that's the difference to me of how I think of it. With anything in life, you can always turn it negative, but you always want to make sure that if you're taking responsibility, but it's creating shame and guilt, you need to, I don't want to say snap out of it, but please work towards looking at the situation and finding ways that you can handle and tackle, whether it is that you come up with strategies to help it, you're talking to other people to come up with strategies, but it's always about the response that you have to that event.
So the thought came to mind as I was asking the question is one solution oriented. Taking accountability is solution oriented, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I messed up, or maybe this is happening because of me. What can I do to keep moving forward, or what can I do to fix this, right?
Yeah.
A victim mentality is powerless, what you said, right?
Yeah.
So I messed up, I screwed up, and then woe is me, and there's no solution. I'm the victim. There's no coming out of this. There's no coming out of this. And yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what you want to do. You want to feel empowered. Anything that makes you feel
Yeah.
powerless is not where you want to be.
Yeah. So victimhood takes away power. Holding yourself accountable is
Empowering yourself.
empowering yourself. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So there you go, ladies.
We figured it out.
You figured it out.
I was there all along. You had to like come to it. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, we love you guys so much. Thank you for being here.
So I'm looking for a new co-host.
We'll replace Miguel, right? We'll just show up at his house though.
Use my equipment, right?
We'll still need you to do the setup. Like you'll just be the behind the person scene.
I should be in the background dancing. What are they talking about? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, support us. Support the show. I'm telling you right now, these shirts are legit. They're so soft. Look. They're so soft. I'm telling you. Why are you laughing?
I'm not. I'm not laughing.
They are like they're called the Bella gear.
Yeah, they are really soft.
They are. Like,
Yeah.
look.
Listen, not only do you get motivation for yourself, but you're also helping us to get our message out there to
100%.
people, to help them feel empowered, to help them feel good from the inside out,
Yeah.
and to just spread positivity in a world that sometimes is filled with not so much positivity.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, share, subscribe, follow YouTube, Instagram.
Everywhere.
What else do we have?
I think that's it. But everywhere we're at, come follow us. We would love to have you.
I know, but what else do we have?
That's it.
Oh, Twitter,
Instagram. Yeah, Twitter, Instagram.
Facebook, and YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, those 4 things right now. And
Yeah.
we are, in the next couple of weeks, we're uploading all of our podcasts audio, so you can listen to them. And so
I'm like, let me not even correct you. That is a big word. Audible. Audio.
the audible version,
Audible. There we go. Audible version.
right? Yeah, the audible version. See?
We got there.
I got it. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. The audible version, they're coming out through, and then we're going to go on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple.
Yeah.
It's going to be legit. This is our 20th episode. Did you know that?
That's incredible. Like we started this back in December and we were like we were babies. We're growing through this, and we're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
grateful for all the support you guys have given us.
100%. We
Yeah.
love you guys so much. Thank you again. Follow, share, subscribe. And we look forward to seeing you next Monday at 10 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Later, Gators.
Bye guys.
Bye.